Imagine having it all. The dream car, a hefty bank account, the picture-perfect life. But without inner peace, it's all meaningless, a hollow shell. The shocking truth? Most people are busy conquering the world while neglecting their own minds. Ever wondered why some folks explode at the slightest inconvenience, perpetually on edge, despite outward success? It's simple. Tranquility isn't the absence of storms, but mastery over yourself amidst the chaos. That's what this is about. This isn't some magic trick or a quick fix. Real serenity is cultivated, painstakingly honed, a daily discipline requiring conscious effort and patience. It's about breaking free from the shackles of reactive behavior. See how many people teeter on the brink of collapse. A traffic jam, an unanswered text, an unexpected bill, and boom, their world implodes. Why? Because they're trapped in an invisible cage of reaction. Their minds control them, not the other way around. Serenity, conversely, is the realm of those who understand that thoughts are suggestions, not commands. You choose which to follow. The more you grasp this, the calmer you become, realizing reality isn't what happens, but how you interpret it. It's not easy, I'll grant you that. But from personal experience, I can assure you it's transformative. I used to be a walking powder keg, impulsive, explosive. The worst wasn't the outburst, it was the hollow aftermath, the emptiness of having lost control again. You might relate. The frustration of avoidable arguments, the guilt over harsh words, the regret over missed opportunities due to fleeting irritation. One day, as a firefighter, I witnessed a colleague lose it during an emergency. He yelled, threw equipment, insulted his crew. Amidst the chaos, a resident watched, terrified, more by the man than the flames. That scene seared itself into my memory. The real danger, I realized, is a mind on fire. That month, something shifted. I began studying, observing my reactions, learning to train my mind for calm, even under extreme pressure. Literally. Calm isn't weakness. It's silent strength, the strength of someone who chooses not to fight a battle already won within. A serene person isn't apathetic. They're grounded, clear, present. There's a crucial detail. Calmness is powerfully attractive. Who would you rather interact with? A volatile person with mood swings, or someone who radiates peace, confidence, stability? Serenity is magnetic. People trust you more, listen better, open up. The world offers more because you've stopped being a conflict magnet and become a center of equilibrium. Even business thrives. This isn't metaphorical, it's demonstrably true. Entrepreneurs, merchants, freelancers, those who cultivate serenity, see their prosperity grow. People prefer to do business with someone at peace. Science backs this up. Stanford University studies show that emotionally regulated individuals perform better under pressure and experience greater well-being. They're more effective and happier. The journey begins with a simple decision. Observe your thoughts instead of merging with them. Most people wake up and are immediately swept away by a torrent of mental noise. They don't realize they spend their days arguing with fear, the past, anxiety, treating them as immutable truths. I propose something simple yet profound. For the next 3 days, whenever you feel irritated, pressured, bothered, don't react immediately. Breathe 3 times consciously. Tell yourself, peace, I command my mind. Do this in traffic, when someone annoys you, when a bill makes your chest tighten. The situation is irrelevant. The commitment to no longer being a victim of your own mind is key. Gradually, you'll notice a shift, subtle at first, but real. This change will ripple into other aspects of your life. Mastering your mind changes your vibration. Changing your vibration changes your life. That seemingly unattainable serenity is just minutes away. Start now. The harder you strive, the more life seems to slip away. It's like grasping water. The tighter you squeeze, the more it escapes. But many misunderstand this. What we desire most isn't conquered by haste, but by presence. Serenity isn't just a mental state, it's a frequency of attraction. On that frequency, everything flows. For years, I believed I needed to work harder, fight harder, do more. Success was a wild beast I had to tame. But over time, through many stumbles, I realized something transformative. True power lies in remaining calm when everything screams for you to lose control. When you become calm, you become reliable. The world responds to that. People sense your energy, that serene, centered energy, and it begins to draw in what once seemed unattainable. Have you noticed how some people alter the atmosphere upon entering a room? No one needs to tell you they're leaders. They don't demand respect. They exude it. That's the power of serenity. It's not about being the tallest, loudest, or smartest, but the most stable. Serenity isn't passivity, it's emotional intelligence at its highest level. It's knowing when to wait, understanding that you don't need to control everything, only yourself. Ironically, this puts you in control of your life. Serenity positions you like a magnet. When serene, you project security, a rare and valuable commodity in today's world. Think about relationships. How many couples live in tension, explosions, distrust, emotional insecurity? Now think of the people who are anchors in their relationships. They don't yell, run away, or react impulsively. They sustain true bonds because serenity is synonymous with emotional reliability. This applies to business. I remember starting my cleaning company with zero experience. What set me apart wasn't technical knowledge, but my calm presence, my trustworthiness. Clients trusted me. My company grossed over $100,000 in its first year. No degree, just a commitment to my inner state. Why does this work? The world is weary of empty promises, of volatile, impulsive people who give up easily. By cultivating serenity, you become a safe harbor, something we all seek even unconsciously. Keanu Reeves exemplifies this. He's faced profound loss, yet remained calm, integral, centered. This has made him one of the most beloved actors, not just for his talent, but his serene presence. He's become a symbol of equilibrium in a chaotic world, and that in itself is magnetism. But let's look at the flip side. How many people destroy their lives due to a lack of serenity? How many leaders fall because they can't control their tempers? One scandal, one public outburst, one inappropriate reaction, and it all crumbles. Serenity separates lasting builders from those with fleeting moments of glory. The question is, do you want anxious success or peaceful prosperity? The choice seems obvious, yet few make it in practice. It's easier to react than reflect, to yell than breathe, to run than quiet the mind. But what's easy in the short term is costly in the long run. Furthermore, serenity influences your relationship with money. A Yale University study showed that individuals with greater emotional stability make better, less impulsive financial decisions. Serenity protects you from bad decisions, from impulsive purchases to flawed negotiations. Life will present challenges. There will be chaos, uncertainty, but the difference lies in how you navigate it. Will you be like a leaf in the wind or a steadfast rock in a storm? Be honest. Do you soothe or tense environments? Do people feel safe or anxious around you? This isn't judgment, it's an invitation to reflection. Change starts there. When you develop serenity, you realize you don't need to prove anything. You are enough. And when you act from that place, everything shifts. Doors open, the right people appear, effort becomes flow. Not because the world changed, but because you changed your vibration. Serenity is more than a desirable state. It's the fastest path to true abundance. You find true serenity by understanding the mind as the source of everything. Everything you feel, decide, achieve, or lose begins in your thoughts. And what no one told you is that you're not what you think. You're the one observing the thoughts. This understanding changes how you live. Through honest self-observation, you'll notice the sheer volume of automatic repetitive thoughts. Worries about money, fear of the future, insecurity, guilt, thoughts that arise uninvited, shaping your emotions, actions, and identity. Many live like this, believing these thoughts are who they are. But you aren't the fear, the doubt, the anxiety. You are the consciousness behind them. Understanding this gives you a choice: what to think, where to focus your attention, what energy to cultivate. And that's where serenity is born. I vividly remember the moment this changed my life. I read Think and Grow Rich, a book given to me by a man named Raymond Stanford. Until then, I was a dispirited firefighter, directionless with jobs leading nowhere. But that reading presented a transformative idea. My thoughts were creating my reality. I had no degree, capital, or connections, but what I lacked in those things, I had in abundance in something else: the desire to change my thinking. I started observing my thoughts, identifying self-sabotaging patterns. I realized, for instance, that I deeply believed money was for other people, that success wasn't for me. But by observing, I could question, and by questioning, I could change. It was like opening a window in a dark room. It wasn't easy. It takes courage to admit that much of what went wrong wasn't anyone else's fault, but a result of the thoughts I nurtured daily. This applies to everyone. How many times have you thought, "I'm not good enough. This will never work. I'm unlucky. I wasn't born for this." These thoughts, however subtle, accumulate like a dark cloud obscuring your potential. The first step to dispelling them is to look at them clearly, without judgment, with lucidity. Self-awareness is the first step toward inner freedom and the starting point of serenity. You calm the mind by understanding what fuels the internal noise. I recommend a simple technique. At the end of the day, write down, what were the 3 most prevalent thoughts today? Then ask, do these thoughts bring me closer to or further from the kind of life I want to live? This daily practice builds a bridge between who you are and who you can become. Neuroscience has proven that self-awareness physically alters the brain, strengthening the prefrontal cortex, associated with conscious decision-making, emotional control, and self-perception. The more self-aware you are, the more you develop the part of the brain responsible for your personal evolution. This evolution is reflected in everything. You position yourself differently, relate better, notice invisible opportunities, and, most importantly, feel a peace independent of circumstances. True serenity doesn't come from outside in, but from inside out. It's not about waiting for the world to calm down. It's about finding peace amidst the noise. When this happens, you become unshakable, not because nothing affects you, but because you've learned to choose how to respond. That choice is the greatest freedom a human can achieve. Perhaps you're experiencing an inner turmoil. Your mind may be full of disconnected thoughts, fears, pressures, but know this: the way out isn't escape. It's to stop, breathe, observe, and choose. Serenity, which seems distant, is built one thought at a time, one moment of awareness at a time. And you can start now. Serenity is the final stage of true maturity. It's the point where you don't react to what happens outside, but act from an unshakable inner center. And when you reach that state, you realize the rest of life organizes itself around this new vibration. People confuse wisdom with knowledge, but wisdom isn't what you know, it's how you live. To live serenely is to live masterfully. It doesn't matter if it's raining or sunny, if money is abundant or scarce, if the world praises or rejects you. Nothing matters when you find inner peace. This is the sweetest fruit the soul can produce. Serenity isn't just an intellectual or spiritual achievement. It's existential. It's the reflection of someone who's gone through the fire of uncontrolled emotions and learned to stand firm, not by becoming insensitive, but by learning to live above circumstances. Being serene isn't being distant, apathetic, or indifferent. A serene person feels more, perceives more, connects more, but doesn't get carried away by impulses. They breathe before responding, think before acting. And that changes everything. I used to be the opposite. My life was a cycle of emotional highs and lows. I'd explode easily, give up quickly, doubt myself. I tried to appear strong on the outside, but inside I was unstable, until I began studying the mental and spiritual laws governing the universe. I discovered that serenity is rarer than gold and far more valuable. The phrase I live by is simple but powerful. Calm is power. Power of decision, of influence, of manifestation. This is reflected even in the most practical things. A serene entrepreneur makes more lucid decisions. A serene parent educates with more awareness. A serene partner builds deeper bonds. And above all, a serene mind creates a more harmonious reality. Consider Mike Tyson, one of the greatest talents in sports history, a phenomenon in the ring. But due to a lack of emotional control, he destroyed multi-million-dollar contracts, tarnished his image and lost credibility. He himself admitted that what brought him down wasn't his opponent. It was himself. The lack of control, the anger, the impulsiveness. All of that is the opposite of serenity. And that type of behavior ruins lives no matter how brilliant they are. Therefore, I repeat, you can be intelligent, talented, charismatic, but without serenity, you'll always be on the verge of collapse. It's only a matter of time before it all falls apart. Think, how many times have you made a hasty decision on impulse? How many times have you said something that hurt someone because you didn't pause to breathe? How many opportunities have you missed because you couldn't stay calm? Don't think serenity is a gift. It's training, a choice, a habit. You can develop it daily. You don't need complex techniques. Start by observing your triggers. What sets you off? What destabilizes you? What activates your reactive mode? Just asking this question honestly begins to weaken the power of those triggers. Then practice presence. In every situation, ask, what is the most conscious response I can give now? And if you have no answer, offer silence. Sometimes serenity is expressed in inaction, in non-reaction. And make no mistake, the world will test you, provoke you, but each time you choose peace, you strengthen yourself from within, raising your vibration. Feeling overwhelmed? Stressed out? You're not alone. Millions grapple with anxiety and its physical toll, high blood pressure, digestive issues, even heart problems. But a fascinating study from the University of Wisconsin reveals a powerful antidote: emotional resilience. It's not about avoiding life's storms, but building an inner fortress, a flexible structure grounded in self-awareness, not rigid resistance. Think of a tree bending in the wind, not snapping. True resilience isn't the destination. It's a transformative phase where your presence subtly shifts your world. Your voice carries weight, your respect is undeniable, and abundance flows naturally. This isn't about wishing for a better life. It's about aligning yourself with it. It's about moving with the universe, not against it. The affection, wealth, recognition, freedom you crave, it all begins within. It starts with a choice, prioritizing inner peace. Nurture it like a sacred garden. It's the foundation for everything you build. The biggest misconception, that you need to feel ready to change. That transformation hinges on motivation, energy, a perfect day. Wrong. Change starts now. Even when you're feeling utterly depleted, action breeds serenity. That's the secret I've learned. Waiting for the right moment is an emotional trap. How many times have you postponed something vital because you were tired, sad, insecure? Serenity doesn't precede action. It's its byproduct. I know this firsthand. Once, deeply in debt, my startup failing, barely able to eat, I felt like a complete failure. Yet I grabbed a mop and started cleaning. As I cleaned, my mind calmed. Organizing the external space somehow organized my internal chaos. Action creates order. Order fosters clarity. Clarity brings peace. Most people are paralyzed, waiting to feel different before acting differently. It's like trying to light a fire without adding wood. Serenity's flame ignites through focused action, even without enthusiasm. Studies at Columbia University show that simple, repetitive tasks, tidying up, making your bed, writing a plan, activate brain regions associated with control and emotional relief. Acting amidst chaos creates pockets of mental peace. True tranquility emerges when you stop running from life and face what needs doing, even trembling. It's not about grand gestures. Often fulfilling a small promise to yourself is enough to calm the inner storm. How often have you avoided something essential because you felt bad? How many opportunities have you missed waiting for energy, instead of starting small and letting energy build with progress? People seek peace in inactivity, waiting for things to improve. They won't. An idle mind breeds destructive thoughts, fueling anxiety and guilt. Without action, the mind becomes fertile ground for fear. Want a shortcut to serenity? List 3 simple actions. Tidy your space, write a goal, take a silent walk, and do them even if your mind resists. Do this for a week, and you'll notice a shift. Not a burst of motivation, but a quiet sense of power over yourself, your narrative, your energy. There's nothing more peaceful than knowing you're not at your mind's mercy. You're in control. Take that small step, even afraid. Action born from decision is the first step toward true peace, and that peace awaits you after the movement. Life isn't transformed by knowledge, but by application, even on the toughest days. Serenity isn't the absence of motion, but mindful presence in the right action. You don't need to feel peaceful to begin. Beginning is how you find peace. If this resonated, the next video will deepen your journey. It's another step in your wisdom evolution, and I want to see you grow. Remember, all it takes is becoming a little better than you are now, one step at a time. Thank you for being here. I'll see you in the next video.